Hey everybody, I'm George.
I'm Steve.
And this is the Marketing Manager Playbook.
How you doing, George?
Hey Steve, I'm really good. Thanks for asking. So today, what's up? What's our thing today? We got our beers.
Yeah, we got our beers.
Hope that doesn't offend anybody.
We had a good week.
Good week. Yeah, it's good. Busy. Good.
Yeah. Me too. Actually, really good week. But today we're here to talk about B2B manufacturer
I want to take
marketing.
This little toy away
yeah,
from you
I
because you
have
like to
two.
slam
I
it.
have two. B2B manufacturing
Yes,
marketing.
we have a lot of these clients that we work with,
right.
and it's very unique. So it's good discussion to talk about, and
Yeah, and unique to different platforms that you would use digitally. And I think every business at the end of the day, there's no cookie cutter approach that we can say, okay, B2B manufacturing marketing, if you work for a B2B manufacturer, this is going to be your plan. That's not what we're trying to do. I think we're trying to provide platforms, advice, places to start out and explore.
There's a word they use a lot in Europe, which we don't use in North America, which is bespoke. Which I can't find a better word than that, but it's a unique. You have to find your own unique approach to your marketing. We've talked about discovery in the past. If you haven't had a chance to watch that video or listen to that podcast, check it out because
strategic marketing plan.
Put your plan together,
yeah.
and then build your strategy around that. About your persona and all that stuff. So with manufacturing, and we're talking B2B, so business to business today.
Right, which is different than B2C, business to consumer, and different for the platforms you're using and the strategies you're taking. Because generally speaking, B2B, you usually have less buyers.
Right, you're limited. You're not going to have all these suddenly consumers finding you on Google or something.
Right.
Like, oh, I want to buy your $20,000 product.
Right. I think one client we think of is a client that sells high-end torque wrenches, for example, and there's
unique.
Boeing buys them, and super
the oil
large
gas
companies.
industry, windmill.
Not a ton
systems.
of buyers, and so you have your traditional marketing, which is having reps in the field and going out and selling these things. But what can you do digitally? What can
in general too? I think for us as an agency, with a lot of these clients where we have a marketing manager and they have a budget and they have quite often we find that they're sort of working very ad hoc. They're just kind of they're showing up at work and just trying to get stuff done. And it's the phone everybody.
First thing you do before doing anything is you turn off your phone.
Put that in the blooper reel. So for us, it's about we look at the client and we look at their budgets and we put that plan together. And the first thing we look at is their presence, their brand presence, and to ensure that it represents what they're trying to sell properly, whether it be their online brand or their traditional brand, whether it be their brochures, and a lot of these industries still rely on trade shows. So first off, we do that discovery. We look at the tools that they need, and a lot of that is trade show related. Still, that relationship building is really important in B2B, and then we go into the digital advertising and how can we help there. So if I come to you with a client, a B2B client, not a lot of search for that customer, what do you do?
Yeah, and I think it depends on the industry that you're in for sure. And first step we do is you do a little bit of research on knowing what your products are, and then finding out, are people searching for this? And generally there will be people searching for this, but it'll be very small. So you're not going to rely on something like Google search ads to boost your numbers by 100% or 200%. Generally, it's more supplementary. So, for somebody like this high torque wrenches, we need to use search terms like industrial torque wrench for aerospace, right? And how many times does that get searched in a month? Sometimes never. Sometimes it doesn't. But you still want to be there when it gets searched, right? So you want to have that set up and operate. You might only be spending $100, $200, $300 a month, but they're on high-end search terms. They're cheap because there's not a lot of businesses advertising, and it's really just about getting it set up. At the end of the day, social. I mean, again, it depends on your industry, but
We have, I think, for brand recognition. So we have another client, fairly big client in Canada, and we have actually 2 clients in this category. Really, what the challenge is that nobody knows who they are. They have tons of customers. They have a reach that's significant, and one of them changed their name. The other one just never been online, and if in a big way. And so we use social for both of those clients for brand recognition, just so you hear that name. So when somebody, and it's a great employee thing, an employee goes into wherever the barber and the guy says, and you say where you're working, oh yeah, I've heard about them.
Yeah.
It's actually a big boost for morale, for that side of it, social, and obviously social for internal branding and internal conversations is really big too.
Yeah, and I like social for retargeting. Social retargeting, so you take your organic traffic that you're getting or your paid search traffic. I mean, the whole idea with retargeting is that you're hitting them from all different angles, right? So they're seeing you first, they're seeing you in Google in the search ad, they visit your website or your landing page. Now they see you on the local newspaper's website because you have Google retargeting, and then they see you on Facebook. And then they see you on Instagram, and you might say, okay, well, my target market, ideally I wouldn't think of Facebook to advertise high industrial torque wrenches, but if your traffic is qualified organically or from a Google search perspective, then you retarget and they start to see you on Facebook and they start to see you on Instagram, and like, wow, these guys are the real deal. They're everywhere. You remember who they are. So when you are going to go make that purchase, it's
there's a brand recognition and a confidence in the brand, which is part of what the whole brand thing is. You feel like you have a relationship with this brand, and that's really crucial to trust.
Yeah.
Building trust with the customer, no matter whether it's B2B or B2C, is really, really important, and so having that presence.
And I think a lot of times what we see with B2B manufacturing is it starts at the website. And we see a lot of these clients come to us and their website is not working. It doesn't
broken
tell
pages,
a story.
Videos.
Their SEO is never even thought of in a lot of cases. And I mean, it all comes back to your reputation online and your brand, and generally there's lots of room for improvement on your website too.
And even if and on the public relations side, so there's, say, a magazine wanting to do a story on your product, on whatever it is that you're selling. The first thing those reporters for those publications will do, or those online publications, will go look at your website. If your brand online looks like, even though you might have the most amazing product, but your website is kind of, they will walk away from that because they don't want to drive traffic from their websites to your brand if it makes their brand look inferior. It hurts their brand. So that's really important for your brand. That it's not just about you. It's about your customers. It's about all the people, the third-party endorsements. All those things are really crucial. Yeah,
that's a good point, and it's something that that a lot of these companies miss the boat on, because they say, well, our reps are in the field. They're going to be pushing our products. That's how we sell our products. Our website doesn't matter. But at the end of the day, every one of your stakeholders at some point comes in contact with your website, and that's your reputation.
We talk a lot about return on investment and key performance indicators in what we do. And digitally, it's actually great because you can actually figure out where people are coming from. But the biggest challenge we have with a lot of our clients is they have trouble tracking internally and keeping track of those leads. What do you think? How do we help people improve their internal systems to track those leads that are coming in from all over the place?
Well, I mean, you're absolutely right. That seems to get, especially with a lot of these larger manufacturing companies where they get leads from a national level, right? Because if you're a B2B manufacturer, you're not generally just serving a small service area, but you're national. So you might have sales reps across the country, and you're redirecting. And then, how are you following up to create? How do you create a system so that you can determine a return on investment?
Yeah.
And that's something that we struggle with, or we've had to work with clients before. And you generally put those systems in place.
Sometimes, and it could be as simple as when you take those phone calls, or you take it, how did you hear about us? And sometimes people will remember, and sometimes they won't. But at least if you log and you can capture 30% of your leads to give us as the marketers or your marketing manager, or if you're the marketing manager, a kind of understanding what's working and what's not working.
Right, because all the ad campaigns that we run, generally any phone call is recorded, the first step of the phone call. And that might not be the sale, especially in B2B manufacturing, right? I mean, sometimes the sales cycle is a long process to get the right product and so on and so forth. So we get the first step, we go, okay, that's a qualified lead, they're looking for the right product and so on and so forth. But then as it goes down the line, you have to be able to put a system in place before you start advertising. And again, this goes in the discovery or your strategic marketing plan when it comes to talking about return on investment and expectations.
Build it in.
Is really having a system in place so that, okay, we got the lead, we know the lead's good, but did it close? And if it didn't close, why not?
And you do that for everything else. Most businesses do that for every other department. They figure out the margins, they do how much did this piece cost, and what is the cost of the product that we're selling. They always kind of forget to figure out, how much we're investing in marketing and what should we expect as the return. Is it 3 times, 1 time, 5 times? What is it 0? Is it a lost leader? Having that stuff identified at the beginning is really important.
And having that information on what's closing and what isn't is super important so that you can actually adjust your marketing. Because if you're doing, let's say, let's use the wrench example again. So if you are advertising for industrial torque wrenches and then you get these leads and they seem qualified, but they're actually looking for an industrial torque wrench that retails for $300 and you can get it at the local home hardware store, but still classified as industrial torque wrench. But you're actually selling a product that's $15,000 and for specific industries. Well, just you got that lead and you're going, oh, that's great. But if they're looking for something that's not right and you find that out later, you need to go back and say, how did they first get in the door?
Right.
And adjust.
Yeah.
And that's honing in your search, honing in whatever type of advertising.
Yeah, and tracking that stuff. So, and you said telephone numbers. We use CallRail with unique telephone numbers for all of our ads, whether it be digital or traditional. Every number has is on a different number on every ad, and as well as emails and other forms that you fill out, lead generators. One of the great ways is building your lists, of course, in B2B marketing. Build your email lists. Lead magnets, we call them, which are these downloadable white papers that people have on their websites or on their ad campaigns. Getting people's information in Canada is really, really challenging. Europe, it's really, really challenging to get information. America's still pretty loose when it comes to email lists. You take advantage of that now if you're in America, because in Canada it's really tough to market through email because your list becomes gold. And so building your list is certainly really important, and doing that through some sort of lead magnet, we call it, is really good. Okay, so let's just quickly go through. Have we missed anything? Because I'm thinking let's quickly first get your brand perfect, as close to perfect.
George, you're forgetting the first step of any good marketing plan.
Hire Curve Communications.
Do a strategic marketing plan.
So,
discovery.
Yes, do your discovery. Know who your customer is. Know what your expected ROI is. Then you build your brand out. Make sure it looks cool and great and wonderful online.
Tells your story. You kind of represents you. Everybody's proud of it.
Puts the customers. You're getting in the customer's place. You're not selling yourself. You're selling what the customer's needs. And not what you're selling. So always remember that. And then build out your digital ads. So make sure you
know where your target market is, right? You know who your target market is. You know where they exist online. You know if they're on social. You know if they're in Google. You do your research, and then you start to implement.
Okay.
And that's starting to implement Google search, specific Google search, making sure that you're showing up when somebody's searching for the product that you're
SEO,
selling.
for that matter.
Search engine optimization, 100%. Social retargeting, absolutely. Google retargeting, absolutely.
Okay.
And then you get into your traditional stuff.
Yeah, trade shows, email marketing, old school mail marketing, magazine purchasing ads in magazines, but negotiating covers potentially if you can. If they have digital assets, you make sure that there's a relationship between those two. Put a plan together for the year on the traditional stuff, a whole year ahead, and choose wisely.
And then track your leads.
Track your leads. Track.
All the way to the end.
All the way to the end, and then high five.
High five, and then sign up for another year of marketing.
That's right. All right, everybody. I hope you found that interesting. I'm George, and this is
Steve.
Hey everybody, it's George.
And Steve.
And this is the Marketing Manager Playbook that you're looking at here. We do this every week.
Or listening to.
And if you're interested in learning more, you can connect below if you're looking at us on YouTube, or you can email me at george@curvecommunications.com.
Or visit the website, of course. Just
go to Curve Communications.
You'll find us, me, you.
The whole party,
Yeah,
the whole
exactly.
gang,
All right.
everybody.
Thanks for
everybody.
listening.